My guy's helping us.
Is it difficult to believe that other people can share your sentiment that you had earlier?
It's my understanding that people outside Eulonia don't really cherish compassion. Yeah, I know the police are out there. Yeah. Hi, officer.
We heard some bullshit was happening in your game. We're here to arrest you.
NSA Agent Philip sent us.
He's been saving it up this whole time.
Philip says hi.
Hi. Hi back. So anyways, Kelso remarked, It's my understanding that people outside of Eulonia don't exactly cherish compassion. And that cherishment fades against something that's ancient, evil, lethal. It's not a bad question. Takar's like wiping off like her blade edge with her sleeve. To be honest, I really have no stake in this. Yes, one of... Stops. And I roll for this! Oh, Takar has an inspiration? When'd she get this?
Well, it wasn't for
I guess she
Jen.
just had this whole time, I guess.
When she did a recap.
When her and Jin fucked, obviously.
That... it's terrible roll, so
Can
that
Jin
inspiration.
Can Jin provide advantage as is the boyfriend advantage, I guess?
Does she want it?
Do it.
You don't need no man.
Fine, I'll allow it. Watch it roll worse.
Oh, like
No, quite,
God.
quite the opposite, actually.
I was gonna ask if she could add a Scalding. I was like, she just got out of a fight. She don't got none.
You can't apply Scaldux onto your own stuff.
Oh, yeah, forgot about that.
Only bards can, because they're half-casters in this campaign.
For several reasons, it wasn't gonna happen. What is
Yeah.
that, 20,
I think there's one of the Scald subclasses that can.
Yeah.
I say this as the person that
more
made that,
bard.
so I don't remember it. But, yeah. 26, though, is pretty solid. Even though one of our... She stops. Our friends died. She sheathes the blade. He died making a difference. He died on his legs. When my time comes, I hope I go out the same way. Kelsey is leaned against one of the sparring grounds as posts. Very Kingdom Come energy. And she has one of her legs kicked or crossed the other one that she leans on. She nods up and down yeah, I get that. To the point where she says, yeah, I get that. That doesn't answer my question. Maybe it is as Jin says because it's the right thing to do. Or maybe I don't like having something like that near my home. Maybe I don't think you guys can do it. I mean, there's no thinking to be had there. Lord Damon made it clear. You guys are the ones to do it. As written by the Clover Court. What is the Clover Court? It's a physical place in Val Emmett. But most people use the term as a modern replacement for the Order of Celestial Reef, our Newman. So, when it was written by the Clover Court, it was written by our Newman, or some approximation of it.
But
Your Newman likes us better. Our Newman is wise enough to know that his children can't hurt it. Well, I look forward to seeing what my blades can do against Deathwing. It looks like he has less armor than you.
Thank God.
Kelsey
Brutal.
smirks under her visor I hope so. I will tell you this, swinging my Warhammer on it, it felt like I was hitting shield upon shield. It was rough.
That tracks with the reactions we saw from the feather.
You guys have one of the feathers?
Oh, yes. Unlock
Yeah, all the other
pictures.
night prospects have no brief on what you guys talked about before earlier.
Yeah. And this doesn't seem something to withhold. One of our allies managed to gather some materials. The feather seems to react, namely to people of Euronia. And
That
it
makes
reacts
sense.
differently. Fascinating.
You might want to show it to Vital. Don't get me wrong, he's a bastard. I can't believe I'm about to say this. He's a bastard, but he wins. She doesn't know if Vital was in there with you guys.
Just manifest. Not all the time, but I see why he is a knight prospect.
He's he's a mystery is what he is.
Hmm.
No one's heard of him ever. But then suddenly the Severus and the Order of Sunflowers have their knight prospect all ready to go. From nowhere.
And
I even
we
heard
find
some
that-
free rumors speculate that he's not even Eulonian.
Did we see him interacting with the feather? Or the blood or anything?
Yeah.
And did it react
Not the
properly?
blood. I don't know. Nothing crazy happened, no.
Hmm.
And you guys definitely know that Vital didn't hurt definitely because he threw a fucking helmet at him.
Yeah, also that. Well, if he is not from Euronia, he is at least loyal to it. That thing seems just as resilient to him as any of you.
Good enough for me.
It is...
She looks around.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys are planning how we're getting broken out, us prospects. But I like to humbly request not to be stationed with Vital.
Jin kind
He's
of
good.
chuckles.
He's good, but he's an ass. There's gonna be plenty enough things to deal with on the field.
Yes, I heard he was not the... How to put it nice? The greatest team leader.
Yeah, that's an understatement.
Mhm.
I think he's learned his lesson, as evidenced by the failure he suffered.
Hmm.
Chelsea has her arms crossed and she just shrugs like, maybe, maybe not. I don't know if now's the time for redemption arcs.
Or maybe now would be the perfect time for it. Feels very storybook-esque.
You guys have been hanging out with Aubrey, haven't you?
No, our friend Caradoc mostly.
She nods like, yeah, fair enough.
Regardless, I'll keep it in mind, and when the conversation arises, we'll mention it to everyone. Bleh.
Thanks. So, your turn? Or are you just watching?
He thinks about it for about half a second, and it's like, well, Seth Ingram's gonna be here possibly any minute. I need a
Yeah,
short
she'll be
rest.
around now.
Oh, he's just walking around the corner.
Yeah. Seth Ingram.
Seth Ingram! I
Oh.
might have prior appointments.
Have fun.
Oh, it would be great. I do not plan for victory, but I plan for a challenge.
Am I interrupting?
No.
Not at all. Just finished. Your turn. You sound so callous and saying that, Kelsey. Because I am. Come on. He like vaults over the side of the sparring ring. I went and got this. And he holds out a kendo sword.
Oh,
Or not kendo sword. Wait, no, that's the one made of bamboo. I think.
right.
I'm talking about like a wooden katana. A boken.
Yeah.
A boken. That's what it is. Bookend.
One that you would use for just practicing different maneuvers, I would assume.
It depends.
Ooh!
I guess you would
Choppy.
determine that Bokken is like the more advanced version of Kendo, whereas Kendo is for the movement. Bokken is for the weight.
Okay.
Yeah. I went and got one of these.
Oh, excellent.
I must admit, it's been... He like begins like twirling it. Which is not a hard thing to do. I've done it as a kid when I had one of these swords.
Right.
You can twirl it. I must admit, it's been some time since I used a Bokken. So, shall we? Actually, holds up a hand. This is meant to be educational, instructive. If not by Farron's own words, then by my desire. What sort of student are you? Are you the sort that needs to have lessons beat into you, calling yourself out on your mistakes? Or do you want, he gestures at, or puts a hand on his chest, an outside perspective? Are you able to internalize external instruction?
I have to think about that for a second.
Yeah.
I think Jin... He would have... knowing how his family operates, aside from his sister, he probably would be used to the effect of having the lessons beaten into you, but is probably more... He probably learns quicker through the second method.
Okay.
Yeah. I am... I am familiar with the former, but from my recollection, the latter tends to work better with me.
Then let us use the latter. Mentor and student. If you don't find my own techniques unsavory.
Unsavory. Interesting choice.
I'm sure Vital has other more pointed words for it. And I've heard plenty of derisive comments from other knights. Or rather, their honor guard. Come, step into the ring.
He steps on up with his big old stick.
So, out of game, what are you looking to get out of it? Yeah, these trainings are more than just narrative. If you guys have something in mind, that's what training's for.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
I think, I guess it'd probably be technically better to work with her, with Kelsey. She could
Depends what
probably...
you're looking for.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mentioned in the past, I'm trying to, like, pick something and stick with it, namely, because it's like, I thought of, like, 3 different, like, things I would like Jin to aim towards eventually, but I'm like, no, pick on something. So, the main thing I want to aim towards, which is what got him pointed towards Snapdragons in the first place, is the like, dual-wielding heavier weapons rather than 2 light weapons kind of thing. Which I don't know if Seth Ingram's the choice for that.
He would be.
He would be?
Kelsey wields a weapon and a shield. She doesn't wield heavy weaponry at all.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Yeah. Seth
Oh,
wields an
shit.
Odachi as if one-handed.
Yeah, I guess that... Yeah! I didn't fully forget about that, but I don't think I had that in my brain when I was requesting this, because it's like, yeah, no, he would be, like, the best one here then, wouldn't he?
Power
Then-
setting.
Yeah,
Oh, no, he doesn't.
Let's go.
As you begin your bout, he doesn't power stance. He enters the fucking uttering wing stance, holding out his blade to one end, holding his hand to his heart. Let us begin then. So, now it's a question of your method of tutelage. More importantly, more specifically, rolling for it.
Oh, no.
This is actually something I wish I might steal from Blades in the Dark, where there's like a progress clock.
Mm.
Yeah, you guys aren't just getting your progress like full clock and instantaneous. That's
Yeah.
silly. Silly.
In the house game
But-
we actually have sort of a rule for learning feats, which is if you spend X amount of time, which is like each unit of time is like a week, and the length is dependent on the feature, then you can eventually learn things.
I'm not a fan of that because, in my opinion, when your body is forced to learn something fast, it will learn fast, or else it dies. So I think there's the opportunity to go fast and pick up stuff, but only in situations of particular mastery or duress.
All right.
Looks at when you guys partially leveling up sometimes. Yeah, that's crazy.
Right.
That's wild.
Blitz the learning, so you get the muscle memory down.
Also, because we already run downtime in our games.
Not
So
particularly.
if we did that, you guys would never get shit.
Yeah.
Looks at Dahlia trying to work on the palm, and then it died.
It didn't die. It got used.
But dried out. You dried out a good
It
bit.
dried out,
You
but-
lost a good portion of it.
That's all right.
You still got to use it for Irina purposes, but definitely not all of it.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure something out with the flower.
Yeah.
That one
Anyway.
sounds like it can't die.
Well, no, not well. Yes.
You can consume it.
But,
You can expend it, but it doesn't expire.
Well, we'll get to that someday.
That's all. That was part of my design intent for it. That it doesn't just cook when you guys fight something that deals fire damage or something like that. Anyways, let's see here. Also, this music is way too sleepy and calm. As I
Sleepy
realized.
and calm for beating ass.
See.
Oof.
Oh,
Ting tang, blah bing bang. Feels good.
Oh, Watchman's Ease. I think that'd be good. It's a good one. 1 hour extended edition.
Stretching your arm when it has like a sore spot feels so nice.
How long would that first bout have taken?
You guys, the actual bout itself, probably like
Like, I'm just
minute.
wondering when Dahlia would be able to come by to the sparring.
You've been
area.
here. I would say you've been
Okay.
here. Maybe not next to the sparring itself, but you've probably been like off in the corner looking up stuff again.
Yeah. Okay.
that's your one to do.
Yes.
As you're wanted to.
This is true.
So, yeah, roles as Seth Ingram tries to educate you on the best way to manipulate large wieldy weapon, or I guess unwieldy, my bad, unwieldy weaponry.
And make it wieldy.
You make it wieldy, exactly. Technically, he's a dex build, so that doesn't translate. But there are certain, I would call it techniques, strategies, distributions that he can impart onto you. So since he cannot teach you in the manners of physicality, because you're strength, he's dex, he would teach you manners of mentality.
Oh no.
Roll me a wisdom check. At advantage, because
no.
he is helping you.
I'll take advantage.
Takari will give you a d8.
Yay! Okay, so it is 2d20, DL1, plus, what is wisdom? Wisdom is 2, plus 2d4, plus 1d8. I wouldn't be proficient or else that would defeat the purpose of this whole thing.
No, yeah, that's
Yeah, that's the meaning of this. Anyway. Damn!
You've done this before. How am I training you?
What the fuck, dude? Why'd you let me?
I would like to gain proficiency with daggers. Motherfucker, everyone starts the game with that. What do you mean? Even
You
wizards.
know how to use one.
It's called
I
a kitchen
promise.
knife. What do you mean?
I promise you know how to
nice,
use one. Don't waste my time.
That's so funny that Takari's freaking D8 nearly matched the D20.
I think that fits for Takari. Warsworn Takari. My bad, not Warsworn. Battle Sword. Not necessarily only wars, just battle. Totally different.
Bachelor. Bachelor.
Yeah. 22. As you and Seth have your bout, he fights you one-handed with his, it's the length of a katana technically, but that does give him some maneuverability, because given that you're both engaging in close quarters, and yet, he always maintains a certain distance, just out of your reach. Even as you wield this two-handed weapon, he always either is just out of reach or is ready to lean out of your reach. And he makes it seemingly a particular point on attacking your hand, either whichever one's in front or whichever one's open, to cause your grip on your weapon to weaken because you're literally getting attacked on your fucking hands. That's how that would work. As a result, you end up having to fight with your two-handed weapon one-handed because you're not crippled, but you're getting antagonized for it.
He doesn't have a
and
choice.
As a result, you are learning more, or forced rather, more and more to not overextend. There are a couple of times where that does happen, and he does, cut you down for it, so to speak. But if nothing else, it causes you to, one, get used to holding your weapon with one hand, because if you hold it with two hand, it's like like a teacher hitting your hands with rulers. If he sees you with two hands on that, you get the ruler. If you have one hand, you get no ruler, but at the cost of, again, unwieldiness. You get more and more familiar with wielding it one-handed, if not the weight distribution itself, than the flow of it on you. But, that's not just the only instruction he gives. He's not just whapping you over and over again. He does comment. He even goes so far, half the time, to announce what he is doing, what his technique, his instruction is. Like, if you were to swing at him with one hand, he would even comment aloud, "Note how I am 1 inch too far away from you." You see? You must lean forward. Use the weight to advantage. Just that you wield in one hand does not mean it does not carry its weight still. If anything else, it allows you to throw more of it at me. Once more. Back and forth. Back and forth.
I just want to say that triggered a traumatic response in me. I can't play fighting games with my buddy Ryan anymore because he will do that exact thing. He'll say, "Okay, I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to defeat you," and then he'll do exactly what he said, and I'll lose.
And it's like, what am I supposed to do here?
And then sometimes he won't do what he's saying and throw me off.
This is gaslighting.
He violates the sanctity, the trust of mentor and student.
I would still lose when he lies.
I would say Seth doesn't beat you. Like, he lets the lesson carry through, but he doesn't, like... I was like, okay, so you got the lesson? Alright, now I'm gonna beat your ass. No, he just rolls right into another lesson.
Okay.
Like, so it's always on your half. He does not reciprocate his half, if that makes sense.
Rapid fire.
Exactly.
Rapid fire lessons.
But yeah, over a course of an hour, a couple hours, whatever, you don't feel like you've gotten it, but you are feeling like you picked up what he's putting down.
Mm-hmm.
As you both come to a close, he holds up a ladle, or like, I guess technically a bowl on a stick of water to you. Not bad. Not bad. Please, drink.
He takes the ladle, takes a drink, is like, yeah. The room for improvement. Takes another drink.
It is a dying warrior that has no more room for improvement, Jin. So that is good.
Just even the one.
Might I ask?
Yes.
Might I ask, what brings about this desire to wield your weapon one-handed? Don't get me wrong, I wield my Odachi with one hand to successful avail, but I'm sure there are many in your home country and here in Ulona that would argue that if I was that good with one hand, why not use two?
Mm-hmm. Honestly, one of them might be right over there. He gestures his head towards Takari.
She and Kelsey are in the midst of not dueling each other, but probably the equivalencies of what's the game? Ninja? If you guys ever played that?
Oh my god,
it's like a game of speed, except they're actually using their full kit and weaponry against each other.
Okay, so wait, what's that game?
Because Kelsey is slow. So the game of Ninja is that you would you and your opponent, potentially multiple, would take turns going at one another, trying to hit each other's hands. Or other parts, depends on the game. But when I played it, it was hands. Except the thing is, only one person can move at a time. And everyone else is allowed to react, but it's a turn-based thing where you try to slap each other's hands, which is why it's called ninja, because it looks like you're doing a bunch of kung fu moves at each other as you're trying to overextend and slap each other's hands. And you're a bitch if you just hit them behind your back.
So they're going like
Back and
full
forth.
over the top, back and forth. Ninja
Yeah, they're going back and forth trying to slap each other's like hands or whatever with their whole kit.
Mm-hmm.
Takari is absolutely trouncing Kelsey because she doesn't wear heavy armor.
And she's a dex
That being
build.
said, but that's sort of the point. Kelsey's trying to get better at sudden movements with her heavy armor. And that's the ultimate test.
Well, that's
Or not
fun.
the ultimate, but a fun ultimate test. Yeah, Vital, you can have fun while training, says Aubrey. Vital's like L plus ratio plus you came in last. So yeah, you and Steph's training comes to a close. It is an interesting perspective. It might not be the best one for you, but again, due to Steph's mentality on this, how to put this? You might be more aligned with him in terms of your tutelage than Takari, in a weird way. Takari is a student of battle and of dueling and victory. Seth is a student of war and all that it encapsulates.
Right.
Just because he can't teach you physical dex to strength does not mean he lacks any knowledge in other methods. So, yeah. It's a different perspective.
Yeah, which is a very valuable thing to have just someone from a different perspective. Especially if, like, Jin's goal is towards one thing. He's achieved that goal, but from a completely different perspective. It's like, okay, how the fuck did you do that? I didn't think that was possible.
Jason and Tao.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, yeah, that's a good comparison. What do you mean you invented that? I mean, I invented it. What the
Convergent. Convergent evolution.
Yeah.
Everything is a crab.
fuck?
Or everything's a crocodile, apparently. Those are the two theories, which means, by logic, that those two will combine to croco crab.
Yo, croco crab.
And then we get Choco Crab.
Final
How that would
evolution.
taste.
It probably tastes delicious.
Strange.
Probably would. Maybe dipped in butter.
Probably stringy. I'm gonna call that now. It's probably a bit stringy. Anyways,
Crocodile meat, like, I've never heard of.
I think to answer his question, because Jin never actually ended up doing that. We got distracted by Ninja.
Yeah.
He would mention, I have my clan, we are numinous based upon the element of lightning. Many numen are, some, but that's relevant. So there's this very large juxtaposition of speed along with power. And I feel the naturally I am becoming faster. But I want to encourage the strength to catch up with it.
I see.
As well as, frankly, you look really cool doing it.
A boyish reason, but a fair one nonetheless.
Sometimes you just want to look cool. And other times you want to be able to defeat your enemies very handedly. He shrugs.
If I might comment.
Of course.
Speed lends to power. That is the inevitable end, at least in my observations of it. Lends to strength, rather. Strength lends to, if pursued to its end. It has its own speed to it, don't get me wrong. But it is less on speed and more on area. For example, if I were to swing this, and he wraps his knuckle against his bokken sword, at great speed at any of you, it would hurt more, logic dictates. There is more than a ceiling for that. If you go fast enough, you slam with, I would dare say, explosive force. Strength, on the other hand, say, the Nightshade Knight, Sir Hannibal. If he were to slam his arms down with great speed against the ground, or even in the air itself, it produces a different type of effect. He would sunder the earth, send a shockwave through the area, as I say. Both inevitably will lend to the other one, I promise you that. But the end result on either path is different. Speed is precision. Strength. Well, we all know the expression on scalpels and hammers, don't we?
I have grown very accustomed to it.
So, I'll be mindful of that. That being said, that is, as I said, the far end of it. It is good to chase both in the meantime. But just know there is a crossroad.
Insight is always appreciated.
He does a bow to you. A recent style bow.
He returns it.
It is a pleasure to mentor you. I hope you got something out of it.
I think with time, I will. This will have added to something. That's more what I was aiming for. Anyways.
We'll see what time has afforded to us. Farron told me that we'll be conveyed, potentially by one of your allies.
I don't entirely remember when, but yes.
Then maybe time shall be on our side after all.
Hopefully.
Perhaps that is, if we are going as fast as I think we are going, perhaps that will be testament to my statement, my sentiment on speed equating to power.
Let's get everyone marching at maximum speed, and then it becomes a massive spear.
Exactly. Looks at Nova's ability to deal 1 point of damage for every 1 foot she travels.
I was just thinking of that too.
The flash slaps you. It hits you with a nuclear force. Die.
Jin, I really want Jin to ask about like his meditation and like what he was taught, but I don't want to take up like an entire hour. So
you can have some chit chat in the background, but meanwhile, how's that message to Nova coming, huh?